You know, have you ever looked at an industry and noticed this huge disconnect between who's actually doing the work and who's calling the shots? It's this weird paradox you see all over the place. Today, we're going to dig into why simply celebrating women in leadership, well, it kind of misses the mark. We're going to talk about what it really takes to create genuine, structural opportunities for them to actually lead. So, let's jump right in.
All right, so here's the game plan. First up, we're going to look at this really surprising paradox in the world of real estate. Then, we'll bust what I'm calling the encouragement myth. After that, we get to the absolute heart of the matter, the massive difference between just having a title and having real authority. And to wrap it all up, we'll check out a real-world example of leadership by design and lay out a clear path for building real, lasting opportunities.
Okay, so let's start with this central puzzle, and it comes from the real estate industry. Now, this is a field where women make up the vast majority of the workforce. I mean, they're everywhere. But, and this is a big but, when you start looking up at the executive level, at the people in charge, the picture changes completely. So what gives?
And this isn't just a feeling. We've got the numbers to back it up. According to the National Association of Realtors, a whopping 66%, that's 2 out of every 3 realtors in the U.S., are women. They are, without a doubt, the engine of this entire industry.
And this is where that paradox just slaps you in the face. You've got a workforce that's 2/3 women, but when you look at who's in those leadership roles, the C-suite, the owners, the shot callers, it skews heavily male. That huge disconnect, that's what we're here to figure out.
So, the big question is, how does the industry usually try to fix this? Well, that leads us right into this super common but kind of flawed idea. Let's call it the encouragement myth. It's this belief that all we need to do is just, cheer louder for women.
I bet you've seen this play out. Every March for International Women's Day, your feed is just flooded, right? Panels, tributes, LinkedIn posts, all celebrating women's achievements. And look, that's all well and good. It's well-intentioned. But the problem is, that's often where the conversation just stops. It's all about celebration.
And that forces us to ask a really important question. Is the problem really a lack of encouragement? Do women just need more you-can-do-it speeches? Or is the problem a lack of actual concrete opportunities to lead? And yeah, the material we're looking at today argues it is absolutely the second one.
This really gets at the disconnect, right? It's like an iceberg. The focus is all on the tip that's above the water, spotlighting women, celebrating achievements, encouraging them. But that does absolutely nothing to the massive, invisible part of the iceberg underneath, the actual power structures. They don't change at all. And visibility without any real influence, that doesn't really change anything, does it?
Which brings us to probably the most important point of this whole discussion, and that's the massive difference between having a fancy title and having actual, real authority. Getting this right is the key to everything.
I love this quote. Titles don't create leaders. Authority does. Let's just sit with that for a moment. Titles don't create leaders. Authority does. I mean, a title on a business card means nothing if you don't have the power to actually make decisions that matter. So, when we say real authority, what are we even talking about? Well, it's pretty simple. It's the ability to make real business decisions. It's owning the outcome of those decisions, whether they turn out great or not so great, and it's being able to truly shape where the company is headed. At the end of the day, it's about being trusted with real responsibility.
Okay, so think about what happens when you create these leadership roles, but you strip them of that real authority. Smart, talented people, they see right through that. It doesn't matter who they are. They can tell when their influence is just for show. When all the big decisions are being made in some other room they're not invited to. And guess what? They stop going for those jobs, not because they aren't capable, but because the job itself isn't real. And just like that, you end up reinforcing the very leadership gap you claim you want to fix.
All right, so we've spent a lot of time on the problem. It's structural. But what does a structural solution actually look like in practice? Let's get into a really cool case study that the source material calls Leadership by Design. So this story takes us inside a fast-growing brokerage called Century 21 Circle. And the person who wrote our source material said that right from the get-go, they noticed something was just different about the leadership meetings there. So what was their secret sauce? Well, here's the thing. It wasn't some big, flashy women in leadership program. It was way deeper than that. For starters, women in the room weren't just taking notes, they were making decisions. The leadership roles themselves were built from the ground up with real responsibility for things that mattered, like growth, culture, operations. The whole structure was built on trust and ownership. And maybe most importantly, this was just how they did business. It wasn't a special event, it was their normal.
And what's so great about this is that it basically gives us a blueprint that anyone can follow. It's really just 3 steps. Step 1, define what the role is actually responsible for, no fluff. Step 2, attach real, clear authority to that role. Give them the power to make the call. And step 3, tie it all to results you can actually measure. That right there is how you build leaders, not just give out titles.
So if you take away just one thing today, let it be this. The way forward here, it's not symbolic. It has nothing to do with marketing campaigns or feel-good celebrations. It's about being intentional. It's about actually designing real opportunities right into the DNA of your organization. And here's the magic of doing that hard, structural work. When the leadership opportunities are real, when they have real impact and real authority, you don't need to encourage people all the time. The right people, the most capable people, they see that real opportunity and they step up. They'll come to you.
So, let's just spoil it all down. The shift we need to make is huge. It's moving away from the old way of doing things, the celebrations, the symbolic stuff, the empty encouragement, and it's moving towards a new focus, designing leadership roles on purpose, handing out real authority, and demanding real, measurable results.
And I want to leave you with one final question to think about. I want you to look around at your own company, your own industry, and ask yourself, honestly, is your organization just celebrating leaders, or is it actually structurally building them? Because that answer, well, it changes everything.